That's better. What's up, YouTube? My name is Boy. Welcome back to more Genshin Impact. Fontaine 4.0 is officially here, and as you saw in that prologue, oh my god, I love the new features that they got going on here. But again, just like with Sumeru, it's going to take us a while for us to get all the way to the Fontaine part of the story. And then after that, it's probably going to be Natlan and then Snezhnaya. I think that is what the order is going to be. I don't know for sure. It's still too early to say. But whichever one comes next, the other will surely come after. Anyways, we're going to continue with Albedo's story. A shelf packed with books and potions. Looks like the owner has a habit of reading and researching potions simultaneously. A board with some incomprehensible experimental reports stuck onto it. Still, you can tell that progress is being made on those experiments. Looks like an alchemy work table. Some potions and other apparatus are laid out here. Are these what Albedo uses to investigate the world? It wouldn't hurt to touch it. Would it?
Here comes Albedo. Let's go see him.
So yeah, I am definitely going to be putting out some videos on Fontaine. Probably going to do one of the world quests there for some lore. But until then, Albedo, let's have a chat.
I'm back. Did you see anything interesting?
Your things aren't very organized.
Agreed. I'd love to find a moment to put them all in order. Still, experiments come first. Well, on with the research. There may be significant differences between different worlds. Take Tevat, for example. Here, those with visions can manipulate the elements. But worlds may well exist where only one person is able to do so. Or even everyone. So, leaving elements to one side. Do you possess any unique abilities? Ones that don't exist in this world?
Well, I can look at my phone while playing a game at the same time.
I think answering this question calls for the same methodology as last time. In other words, time for the next experiment.
I drank my fill, thank you.
No. You shan't be required to exert quite so much effort this time around.
Oh.
Now, see this pillar here? Use your willpower to try and break it.
Paimon, you give it a shot.
You think Paimon knows how to do that stuff?
Yes. Yes, I do.
That was your best effort? Well, can't be helped, I suppose. Have you tried using your elemental power with food? I don't mean for cooking as such. Rather, channeling your power into the ingredients themselves. I'm curious to see how the taste and texture respond. It may even help with proliferation.
Alchemists certainly have active imaginations. Sure you're not just peckish?
I suppose I have a curiosity for things that others find surprising.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Anyway, why don't you cook us up a sunshine sprat? I've just finished preparing the recipe.
Another one that I didn't have yet.
Cooking? Paimon was looking forward to more mad scientist stuff.
Are you really comparing this man to Frankenstein? Actually, now that I think about it, that would be some interesting lore.
Not only is this recipe a staple for me, it's also worth experimenting with and highly nutritious.
Paimon bets you're just hungry. That does sound yummy, though. Okay, Paimon approves.
I'll save you a pin or two.
Good buddies are always on the same page.
Until they're not. But that's a discussion best saved for later.
I'll leave you to it then. Looking forward to the results. If there's anything left over, maybe Timaeus can finish the last morsels.
Paimon doesn't think we'll have that problem. How are we gonna channel elemental power into the food? Maybe try the willpower thing again. Where does it get these ideas from anyway?
Good question.
Let's just do it the old-fashioned way.
Which is very easy enough. Okay, so Sunshine Sprat is a 3-star item. What do we need for it? Butter, fish, sugar, and lampgrass. No, salt, excuse me. Well, we've got more than what we need. So a little tip with cooking. Sometimes you'll have characters that have a chance to obtain double the product, or may make a special dish depending on what you're making. Like for example here, Shinyon. Like the item that we're cooking here has a defense buff, and with Shinyon Noel, if we use either of these characters to cook this dish with perfect cooking, we have a 12% chance to obtain double what we're looking for. So we're going to use Shinyon as an example of that. Let's see if we get it. Which we did not. That's okay.
That was fast. Looking forward to testing the results.
I caught that. I caught that, did you? Alright. Have it here, you goofy alchemist.
An average outcome experimentally, but you've really brought out the flavor. You seem well versed in the science of gastronomy.
We're just really good cooks. What else can we say?
As far as the proliferation hypothesis is concerned, we've come up short. Seems like food presents the same headaches in your world as it does ours. Unless... could it be that the natural laws of this world are limiting your unique abilities?
I don't think that's a thing.
We just didn't know how to channel elemental power into the food. It's a little more complicated than adding herbs and spices, you know.
Not to worry. At least we put some food to good use. No need to feel disheartened. And here's your portion. Enjoy. I can box it up if you like.
Woohoo! Thanks! Glad you were paying attention.
Seems like you're Paimon's new favorite. It's not often that Paimon gets this much attention. Greedy little thing.
I can tell that you're good friends. Paimon was keeping an eye on you and your safety during the whole experiment.
She kinda has to.
Not that Paimon would have been able to do much if things had gone wrong. But anyway.
Hey! You were being nice a second ago! But you do have tasty recipes, so Paimon forgives you.
This character is all over the place. Honestly, not sure if I love it or hate it. I'll decide at the end of the quest.
And you're right, we are good friends. You have good friends too, right? Good students?
Yes. I'm fortunate too, I suppose. Anyway, moving on to the next experiment. There are all manner of alchemical items here. Keeping them in their proper place is a challenge at the best of times. A while ago, I had the misfortune of misplacing a batch. I managed to retrieve the majority, but 2 vials have been evading me. Animal crystal fly elemental extract and electrohypostasis powder.
Paimon's barely finished eating and you want us to go gathering again?
Don't worry if you can't locate them. I was planning to replace them anyway. Though finding them would save me the hassle.
We know a couple of good spots.
If you had, say, a superpower, like night vision or vibratory sensing, a lost property would be a thing of the past.
We have elemental sight. Does that count?
I must have dropped them somewhere in the area where you were looking just now.
So, guess we'd better take a look.
There should be some elemental traces on the lost items.
Oh yeah! You could use elemental sight!
Didn't I just say that? Okay, so they're definitely somewhere in here. Ah, it's just a carrot. That's not gonna do anything for me. Oh, I see a glowy.
This must be electrohypostasis powder!
And there's the other one.
The extract of an animo crystal fly can only be animo elemental energy, right? This has gotta be it! Still in one piece! Good thing the vial's so strong!
Well, that was easy.
Goodness, you managed to find them. Incredible. 1,000 thanks. I'm wondering, this elemental sight, this is what allowed you to locate the items and find me here on the mountains, correct?
That's right.
Yep! Guess it does sort of count as a superpower, huh?
In a way, yes.
Unfortunately, though elemental sight is seldom seen, it is not unheard of in Teyvat. Only a never-before-seen otherworldly power would be of benefit to my research.
You mean, we failed again?
Don't be disheartened. This falls entirely within my expectations. Besides, getting these items back, I'd call this a very worthwhile experiment.
I get the feeling we're being used as lab rats here.
I have to commend your deduction that the items would contain elemental traces.
Because we're just that smart.
Right then. Up until now, our research has focused on your otherworldly identity. Our research on your identity as one of us is just beginning.
With you to the end.
In essence, the differences between humans are reflected in our intellectual and physical capabilities. Let's start with physical. Looking out from where we're standing, can you see what Sucrose is doing?
Nope.
And if you jumped from here and landed on that cliff, the one over there, could you see her then?
Nope, because that's too far away.
So what about if you planted a single blow on the mountain face here, and it burst into a million fragments? Then could you see her?
Sounds like we're still on the superpower test.
Then I shouldn't get too excited. Still, we'll gain a more thorough understanding with an experiment. I know of a location that will be perfect for a physical test. Please, follow me.
Okay, so where are we going? Heading further up the mountain, I believe. Cutaway time.
You want us to jump from up here?
Not necessarily. Not if you know of a better method, that is.
That's not very reassuring.
Whichever method you choose, the experiment will end when you reach the opposite shore of the lake. I will factor the time expended and your top speed into my comparative analysis.
The opposite side of the lake. So, we're gonna be swimming?
In sub-zero freezing water? Are you crazy?
Without limitations, we complete tasks intuitively, using the method that seems most rational to us. Some of us would be unable to stand the icy waters. Others might find the whole thing rather refreshing.
I call those people crazy.
No matter what choice you make, it's all a part of the experiment. For me, every detail is invaluable to the research.
This is actually less stressful than the superpower part now that I think about it.
Then if you would, please, I eagerly await the results.
Wait a minute. While we're busy testing, what exactly are you gonna be doing?
Me? Recording data, responding to risks, providing emotional support.
So if we do decide to go swimming, you gonna dive in with us?
No. Unless you're thinking of conducting competitive research?
Oh! Forget Paimon said anything. Boom!
Easier than I expected.
Great work. I've never seen a performance quite like it. Your reputation precedes you, traveler. The data shows that you're easily outperforming the average citizen in Mondstadt.
But you followed us the whole way without breaking a sweat!
Me? Actually, I used alchemy to cheat a little. But anyway, if it turns out that the natural laws of Tavad do not affect you, I should be able to make various inferences about the otherworldly civilization you belong to. If the natural laws of Tavad do affect you, then I shall be able to make inferences into the kind of evolution that would occur under the absence of such effects. The innumerable possibilities that this could present, the captivating insights, it would be something to savor again and again.
But how does this help your research?
You've helped me to unravel many of the problems that were holding it back. When we return to the campsite, I should be able to show you something interesting.
What else have you researched this thoroughly?
I may be about to make some analogies between you and a few unusual specimens. I hope you won't be offended.
Nah, me offended? Of course not. What are you talking about? I will wreck you. Just kidding.
Gold, petrified trees, a sun 8 times the size of our own. The essence of the investigative process is enthralling, but such feelings are inevitably fleeting in nature. I'm willing to pour all my energy into research, and yet specimens are finite. As the unknown transitions into the realm of scientific understanding, the feeling of enlightenment is lost. All these things that start out as objects of fascination end up possessing the prosaic mundanity of a sunsetia or a sweet flower. They cease to be noteworthy.
Oh, so that's why you wanted to paint those hilly turtles? Because you got to see something new and interesting and the differences between them?
Precisely. To quote my exact words from earlier, these creatures are, for the most part, quite boring, not worth closer inspection. There is precious little about them that serves to pique my curiosity now.
So after all these experiments, are we gonna be, like, boring to you? Like some basic draft of a sketch?
Of course not. You have been of great assistance to me, and I will remember this friendship for a lifetime.
I would hope so.
Now, before we head back to the campsite, there's one more experiment. Intelligence.
Ooh, I think I see where he's going with this. He wants us to solve some kind of puzzle.
Follow me. There are some other ruins nearby.
And just to be clear, yep. That's where we're going.
I imagine you must have encountered more than a few conundrums during your travels.
Oh yeah, quite a few.
I'd like to observe your intelligence by means of a practical test of your capabilities, much as we did for the physical test.
Not a problem.
I'd like you to explore these ruins and return with your findings. There are 2 puzzles located at the far ends of the ruins. After completion, you should be able to activate the mechanism in the center.
Which is the one they're talking about here, I think.
As with the physical test, there are no restrictions. Everything you do is an action I wish to observe.
When there's a will, there is a way.
Remember that this is a test of intellect. So should you get lucky in any way, that won't be factored in as part of the test.
Fair enough.
So, let's see you in action. Start wherever you like.
Okay, puzzle solving time.
Sealy like these are a common sight in the mountains. Returning them to their rightful places is up to you.
Okay, I see 1, 2, 3 warming sealies.
It's a complex environment, so proceed with caution.
Okay, so which one does this follow? Okay. Now that we've established what that one does, let's see what this one does. Okay, I think I see. That's the first challenge done. So those 2 went together to solve that puzzle. Now what about this one over here? We're just going to be playing follow the leader.
Incinerate! Motion to compel. Time for your arraignment. Incoming.
Wasn't expecting a fight. Okay, we have 1 warming sealy. And now we need to find the other. Which is somewhere in this direction. Aha! There we are.
Don't blink. Let's...
And this is why I have Kuching in my party.
Incoming.
Because her lightning stiletto is very, very useful. For stuff like this. And more fights. Fortunately, I could just use Yanfei for that and keep a safe distance. Because by themselves, Cryo Abyss Mages aren't much of a threat.
It should now be possible to activate the central mechanism. Exactly what will happen when you do is something I'm looking forward to finding out.
Hey! Explaining things is Paimon's job!
Well, Paimon, there's always a suitable replacement. I'm a horrible content creator for saying that. Let's see what this does.
Oh, seems that the water level has suddenly decreased. We should be able to see what's in the water now. Let's have a look.
I waited a long time for this.
What's this?
I feel like I've seen these before.
To the best of my knowledge, these belong to a script of some kind. They can be found all over Teyvat, but they've never given up their secrets. There's still a lot to learn about them. And as for why they should ever have come to rest here, a true mystery. Let me make a copy first. I'll make time to go over them in greater detail after our research.
Another thing for the don't understand list. Unsolvable mystery this, weird experiment that. It'd be nice to get some cool results for once.
Hey, when you're working with the scientific method, any result is a good result. Even if it's something that you don't desire.
Seems like if you want the reward, you gotta pay the price.
I've truly gained a lot from all this. Comparatively, the little reward I can offer is too small to mention. Let me return to the campsite first. By the time you get back, I may just have a fleeting miracle for you to witness.
I wonder what that's all about. Oh well. I'm pretty sure I passed the intelligence test.
Paimon's kinda looking forward to seeing the results of all this brain ache. Unless you can think of anything better to do, let's head back to the campsite.
Not so fast. You're not leaving until I'm convinced that nothing dangerous is going on here.
Had a feeling we'd see you again.
What? You didn't leave the mountain?
I most certainly did not. And I've witnessed everything that you and Albedo have been up to. I must say, you let your guards down. Or maybe you were drawn in by his compelling-sounding hypothesis and friendly demeanor.
What do you mean?
Taking orders from a complete stranger, drinking anonymous potions, participating in all kinds of strange experiments? I'd sooner believe you were tricked than that you would be so naive. Or perhaps you were colluding from the beginning.
Hey, we barely know the guy.
Sister Rosaria's guard's so high, she can't even see over the top of it.
I was just helping him with his research.
It doesn't matter what you think. He could be a saint for all you know. But I understand him a little better than you, Outlander. I'm only concerned with one thing. Whether his alchemy has transformed you into something more sinister.
No way! Paimon would have sensed it! And anyway, he didn't even use any alchemy!
With an alchemist of his level, you wouldn't sense a thing. In any case, I'm not about to let a potential threat back into Mondstadt.
So, what are you gonna do?
You came here to be sure, so you must have your ways of assuring yourself.
I've got to hand it to you. You have your moments. If I can be sure that nothing you came into contact with is dangerous, that's good enough for me. I've investigated everything else. The only items left on the agenda are these symbols.
But we don't even know what they mean.
That much is true. Not to mention, seems like there's nothing more to them. But for insurance purposes, I'd better make a copy. This is now a location of interest. Regular patrols should be set up here. Now then, all things considered, I deem that you pose no immediate threat. Which is what I was hoping. I would have been one very unhappy sister if you'd made me work overtime on your account.
Overtime?
What's going on here?
Before we go our separate ways, Outlander, a word of advice. Don't be so quick to trust Albedo, and don't repeat the same mistakes that you did this time. You made a lot of rash decisions today.
She's gone! So stubborn. Mondstadt doesn't have many people like that.
Maybe she's just sensitive.
Huh. Never mind her. Let's go see Albedo.
But it does seem like there's something a little bit weird about Albedo. Still, finally nice to see this part drained. Alright, what's the 411?
You're back. Good timing. I've just about reached the conclusion. You took quite a while. Did you get held up on the way back?
Quite literally, by a sister no less.
I wouldn't worry. She's just doing her job. Time for the results. We got a myriad of data today, and it was very difficult to finish all the research in one go. But the integral preliminary conclusion that I can offer you is you're very much like a human from this world.
That's it?
You couldn't tell that just by looking? We spent all day working our butts off for that?
I'm with Paimon on this one.
Please, I understand that this may have seemed self-evident to you, but in fact, nothing in this world should be taken for granted. Have you ever considered that the world of Teyvat may have a natural hostility to Outlanders?
Only the gods would know.
I mentioned the natural laws of this world. You're able to converse with me here without consequence, and nothing seems amiss. But it's arguably a small miracle. The only other life form that, like you, has come here from afar is the seed that I mentioned. Under the effects of Teyvat's natural laws, it isn't even able to sprout, let alone bloom. But after I observed you, I had another idea. Imitating you helped to inspire my alchemy. And so...
Oh, it looks like something's appearing.
Wow.
the transition from nothing into something, from shoot to stem, and now to fruition. Is not nurturing otherworldly life also nurturing the world itself?
It was beautiful, but it was so short-lived.
It would seem that that's as far as we go. A transient bloom of incomparable beauty. Life's proudest achievement.
Paimon thought with all our efforts, it might have bloomed forever, and it didn't even have any fruit.
Which sucks, because it only lasted like 10 seconds.
Life is a manifold tapestry of free entities. Its value shouldn't derive from how long it stays with us. Even a momentary burst is precious. A short life can be well lived. A life lived efficiently, lived to perfection, is necessarily one unburdened by loneliness. So, Do you understand what I meant about us conversing here arguably being a small miracle?
Well, I haven't withered just yet.
Huh? Things feel a little heavy right now. Don't be sad. You've got Paimon to look after you. Albedo, Paimon really wants to be your friend.
Thank you both. Even if dispelling loneliness is not essential for life, it certainly doesn't hurt. Your help inspired me to discover the means to make a flower bloom.
So, I'm a helpful specimen?
I mean that the time I've spent traveling with you in the mountains was a valuable journey for me. In the future, if the need arises, can I solicit your help again?
Sure. Even if you just want some company, find me anytime.
Well, glad I can count on you. I made a point throughout of telling her how ordinary the results were. But what was that sediment I saw forming at the bottom of the vial? It should not have been there. What could it mean? Those born of Earth are bound by its imperfections, but those born of chalk are free of impurities. You and I are alike, both composed of a substance that has yet to be fully defined. If, one day, I lose control, destroy Mondstadt, destroy everything, can I rely on you to stop me?
Well, I gotta say, that got pretty heavy at the end there. I was not expecting that kind of ending. But it does give you some insight of, you know, just how fragile our personalities can be. And I really do think we should take that into account. No one is perfect, and we need to remember that. I know I'm not perfect. I know I've got my flaws. And, you know, it's hard to work on them sometimes. But there's always light at the end of the tunnel. You just gotta be willing to shoot for it. So, that's all the time that I got for this video. If you liked it, click that like button down below. If you want to see more stuff in the future, click the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. If you would like to get notified for when a video goes live, make sure to click the bell icon. And last but not least, don't forget to share this video with a friend. Thank you all for watching, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Stay lovely, my friends.
苦しい今日だとしても昨日の傷を残していても信じたい心ほどにゆけると生まれ変わることはできないよだけど変わってはいけるから
Well, guys, I think you know what's coming next. Cannonball!